Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Shalom, Mark.
How you doing? You doing all right, man?
I'm doing alright.
That's good, man. I was just saying, like this whole thing with the transhumanism that we've been actually speaking about for a while, man, it's a real deep topic. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, it definitely is.
yeah, and it's just like all the predictive programming that we've been receiving through all of the sports, through all of the movies. It just show how they really trying to take away the human. You know what I mean? And that really, yes, yeah, and it definitely show how much we're literally hated by these evil principalities.
Yeah, they show you in the movie Universal Soldiers, like in the 90s.
Yeah, with Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? And Debo. Yeah.
Yep. Star Wars.
Yeah, you remember how they were dead soldiers that they were bringing back to life from Vietnam.
Yup.
And a lot of
the one brother I talked to while I listened to his the bar, he brought out that whole movie Bloodshot.
Oh yes.
It's metal.
Yeah, that was a recent one too. Cause remember what they did with him was they enhanced him because I think he died and they brought him. I actually put that in a little quick breakdown I did on transhumanism a couple months ago. And and then how he literally they enhanced him after death and made him like a Superman, like when he can hit and his speed was up, his strength was up. It was crazy.
Yeah, So how you want to set this off? Do you just do it on YouTube or like how you want to do it?
Oh, it's rolling right now, man.
Oh, where? Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's how it's like, because when you look at Vin Diesel, that's deep because if you pay attention to him, he's always dealing with machinery. Pay attention to the Fast and the Furious. You know what I'm saying?
What was the other movie he did? He did what's that movie? Yeah, it's like a series. It's like the better one coming out. Trying to get that real quick.
Yeah.
And then, like you can see it in the dark. I remember that movie called Diesel.
Yeah, I haven't really seen much on
the blood. It's a cool movie. But they remaking it. Hold up.
Okay. So where you calling in from, man?
I'm calling from PA.
Okay. Pennsylvania, that's what you're shout out to Pennsylvania.
Chronicles, ready. That's what was ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they redoing that. And, he was known for, the Last Witch Hunter, which, these devils, they live up, which is the warlocks. That's what they are.
And that's why they always try to make themselves look good. Like, what was it? The show Lucifer, for instance, let's just use that. It'll make you really feel remorse for the ones who are oppressing. You know what I mean? It'll literally make you feel compassion for them because you'll look at it, like, for instance, the movie, it's so many movies, like Marvel and Avengers, let's just use that. When you look at that whole thing with Thanos, how he's coming to collect Infinity Stones, and when you really pay attention to those stones, it's like literally the 12 tribes right there.
Me and my wife were talking about that when that movie came out. Cause I go hard for Marvel. I always was in the Marvel movies. I don't say nothing about like Howard Shot, basically.
And when you see, it's nothing but the Messiah, literally. Because when you pay attention to that, look at Thanos and how he had to sacrifice Gamora. Is it not written that that the spiritual Babylon will be destroyed? The spiritual Sodom and Gomorrah will be destroyed. The spiritual Egypt will be destroyed.
Yeah.
That soul stone was that's why it was a sacrifice. You know?
Exactly. And the brother Bar who I was listening to yesterday, he brought out that Thanos was saying that people were ungrateful. Like y'all are never grateful for like he made everybody happy. And then if you saw the new one. It's called Endgame.
Oh yeah, that was the alternate reality.
Yeah, man. Bro, everybody bad.
Yeah, that was the alternate reality.
Never satisfied.
Yeah.
That was the two-thirds Israel. The ones who were spiritually asleep.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The ones who want to be in the world still. That's why it was like basically when you look at that, they got, remember who chopped off Thanos' head? What in it? Thor? Who was it? Thor? Or
yeah, Thor.
You know, Thor literally represents nothing but the Messiah anyway. When you really pay attention to that, because that's why you notice he comes as lightning. Because if you remember the old comic books, you remember the man, forgot the man's name in the comic book. I actually got the image of it, and I'm gonna show it in the video. But basically, when he strikes the ground and then Thor appeared, he said, "Here comes Thor, the immortal man." Remember that? Yeah, that rod represents the royal scepter. You know what I'm saying?
That's a surprise. And what's symbolic about it? Who was the only one who could pick up that hammer?
Thor.
Captain America.
And Captain America, yeah, true.
Well, Captain America resembles Babylon, America. That's what he was, basically was. He basically resembled Babylon, aka Rome.
Yeah.
And that's what he was.
Yeah.
If you saw a movie, like Thanos was, that villain, so to speak, and who was the good dude? Captain America.
Oh yeah, as it's written, we're gonna be persecuted and hated. You know?
Exactly. He was hated. It's like the movie, when Transformers goes deep, because Optimus Prime is basically, coming to save the Earth, whatnot, save, two-thirds of Israel, the ones who are cool and whatnot, and he comes, was it Voltron?
Yeah.
He comes from another place.
Oh yeah, you see that, the whole Transformers, when you pay attention to that, that's why they got the chemtrails, because when you're familiar with Baal and the periodic table, the BAAL is literally barium and aluminum, and when you go into Joel 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, it talks about the basically the robot species that come from the other planets, man, with like planet Nibiru. That's why the whole iRobot played that out in Transformers. And you know how that's why when you go into Genesis, when it talks about the good and evil coming together as one, you know what I mean? And it makes the man of steel. That's what the whole Superman is about. Because when you go into where was it, Daniel 7, when it talks about the two worlds that come together, like remember the iron and clay? Yeah.
Yeah, talk about it.
See, and where you say you from PA, so I know you know about Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh. That means literally from the hill. And you already know that that Satan's kingdom sits upon the hills. That's why you got Washington, Capitol Hill. You know what I'm saying? And then Washington. Yep, that's why the Steelers was called. That's why they called the Steelers, because that's why they got the stars, because that literally represents nothing but the man of steel, the iron and clay. That's why they were dominating earlier this year.
Yeah. Very solid. Even the Buffalo Bills, I was telling my wife, and the Kansas City Chiefs, they played in an AFC championship game.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills were known with the Chiefs, with the Native Americans and whatnot. It's all with that. I gotta go do a little bit more research and dig. But yeah, that's basically what it all comes down to.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send you a video on that, because now that you brought, I did a whole breakdown on the playoffs, and that's good that you brought that up, because you remember back in the old days when the Indians were getting conquered, what did it say? They used to kill the buffalo so that the Indians would die out. They would die of hunger. You remember?
Right.
That's why Patrick Mahomes got that concussion against the Browns, because I put this out yesterday about the WrestleMania. All of this plays for Tampa Bay, because when you look at that, you got the concussion representing nothing but the Wizard of Oz. Remember Dorothy got a concussion in Kansas, and notice that Patrick Mahomes got a foot injury in Tampa Bay at the Super Bowl, because If you remember Dorothy, remember she had to clap her heels to get back to Kansas and get away from the Wicked Witch.
Exactly, yeah.
But Patrick Mahomes got his feet injured, so that showed that we're literally, like, what they plan on doing is, like, people are not going to be able to escape, you know, because when you look deep into that, it really tripped me out because I was like, this is crazy because look at where he went to go play. He played at Tampa Bay, which means Bay of Fire, and when you look at the Pirates, it's the skull, and when you know about Scripture in John 19, it talks about the Messiah carrying his cross going into the place of the land of the skull, land of Golgotha.
Yeah, land of the dead. This is a valley dry bone.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like we were like that's why Tom Brady had to get his 7th ring because that represents he's literally it's so deep because Tom Brady is a Leo and when you pay attention to that I'm like this is so crazy because they call him the GOAT. And you know the Leo is a lion, and then you look at the goat. You know it's all like reverse, you know, symbolism. You know, Satan is known as the Babylonian lion. You know what I mean? And with wings, and then you have you know the goat, aka Baphomet. You know what I'm saying? The goat's on the left side, but yeah, you see that symbol. But they playing him as the hero, so they doing like the false Messiah role, like the fake Lion of Judah. And the Lamb of God, you know what I'm saying? They playing that role, you know? And that's why he got 7 rings. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And the one brother was saying that where's number 12?
Yeah.
Number 12 and number 7 was the 7 disciples or apostles. They all good back.
The 12 apostles, yeah.
Yeah, 12 apostles.
7 churches, you feel me? Like,
yeah, 7. Yeah, exactly.
Man, I think.
I peeped out the WrestleMania thing because they just had the Super Bowl at Tampa Bay. Now they're having the
WrestleMania there, yeah.
At Tampa Bay.
Same logo. How is it a mistake they got the same logo? Come on, man.
Exactly.
And who's the champion right now? Universal champion. Roman Reigns, the reign of Rome.
Right there, yeah. Exactly.
Universal champion being like one world order, man. That's some deep stuff. And they tell you this, like we're there, about to reign supreme is what they're saying.
It's Roman. Yep, Roman. It's not Roman Reigns. And he's if I'm not mistaken, that's the Rock's cousin. And the Rock is supposed to be so-called Judah Negro. So I don't know if he go back to Jake or not. But yeah.
When you look at The Rock, though, it's just so like The Rock. It's just something else. His name is The Rock, though. You hear that? That's all symbolism too. The Rock saying he's the Messiah, basically. That's why he's yeah. And when you understand that too, when you look at when you understand the masonry, we all know that they're builders. You know what I'm saying? But the Most High is a builder himself. That's why you see, remember during the time of Nimrod, he built the Babel Tower to try to basically build himself higher than the structure of the Most High. You feel me? The pillars. Yeah, this stuff is deep, man. It's like, it's no mistake. You know, it's no mistake. But that's why I said we watch everything. Even if you don't know what's going on, you're still being programmed because there's no way you can say you never knew. You know?
Of course. Everybody's stuck in that matrix. The matrix.
Yeah.
And this was supposedly, come out with another one in 2022. Or is it this year?
It's this year, bro. It's supposed to be this year. And the same day John Wick come out. Yep. It come out during the time of Gemini. It come out, I think, the same day. I think it's May 31st. They come out the same day. And you guys think we haven't seen The Matrix since what, 03?
Yeah, 03, yeah. 03, 04, one of those. It was 03.
Yeah. Now, you remember they had the revolution? That's why you remember I don't know if you saw my video and I broke down the Texas storm and how remember that had that big crash out in Fort Worth, Texas, with like all the yeah, that was just like the Matrix. Remember when they had that crash so they can get back? Yeah. I'm like, bruh, this stuff is crazy, and there's no way around it, man, because we're literally living out these stories, you know?
Exactly. You know, a movie. We're all part in a movie. Yeah, Howard Shine's movie.
It's all a visual. It's all a movie, man. That's why they say life is but a dream. Merrily, 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 merrily. You know, row up the stream. Life is but a dream. What stream is it talking about? You feel me?
In the water.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah, you know. This stuff is deep stuff, man. They know what's going on, but like you people, like you always gonna have the naysayers. Some people don't believe till it's reality. That's why they stage reality events like the George Floyd, all of these things, you know.
Of course.
They gotta stage it.
Yeah, when I came out, when George Floyd was taken out, supposedly what happened, and he came out with the riots and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, you had the COVID going on. Washington 60 instances and whatnot. With all that riots going on, the protesters don't do nothing anyway. These devils don't care.
Right, and all the people who was out there protesting, a lot of them were insiders. Like they were paying for the protest, you know.
Exactly. I mean, look at Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, he should be with the Rothschilds. He's cool with the Rothschilds.
Yeah, that whole Dr. King, I Have a Dream, all of that was like a Jewish written script that he had to do because that was all to say, let's bring the New World Order. That's why I said that whole racism movement, the whole civil rights movement, they used racism because what they wanted to do was, it's so deep when I did that Black History Month breakdown, and it's so crazy how what they did, when you understand the yin-yang, the duality, just say duality, you know, black is the feminine because it's the absent of light, and then man represents light as the white, and the chess pieces. And when you look at the female reproductive system looks like the goat head, you know? And it's crazy. And when you look at that, I was like, wow, this stuff makes you think because by default, when you understand scripture, like the female, it all represents, you know, say for instance, the Queen of Heaven, Babylonian Queen of Heaven, you know, Ishtar, you know, Mother Goddess. All of that is rebellion spirits, anarchy, you know? And it's so deep how we literally, when you were part of that, because even when you look at the Black Panther movement, all of that is all pagan god worship because it represents the panther, a.k.a. the leopard in Revelation. You know, in Daniel, in the book of Daniel, because it all represents nothing but Dionysus, a.k.a. Tammuz, you know?
Yeah, that movie was deep.
Yeah, that movie was deep. And when you watch it, bro, it just makes you go, wow.
Yeah, I'm watching it again, but it shows you that Israel was cursed. It was cursed. We were cursed because the kings, we were coming together, but these devils wanted to take us down because they didn't want us to be united. But the thing was the major problem was we were doing it the wrong way. We were doing it carnally, not spiritually.
Exactly. You see that? That's deep.
That movie's real deep.
Yeah, that's deep. Said that, man. The carnal and not spiritual. Yeah, our weapon of war is not carnal, it's spiritual. Yeah, flesh is nothing. It inherits nothing, you know. And that's crazy you said that. Not crazy, I mean that's amazing you said that because I looked at that, I said, wow, because if you look at that whole role of Fred Hampton too, he understood that we gotta know his remnants of the nations around us. You know what I'm saying? And it's about knowing how to gather them remnants, man, because they incite us all to hate and fight against everyone, because what they want to do is it's easier to control. If I got, for instance, the Rubik Cube, everything is separated, but when it come together, it creates a full dimension, you know? But when all the colors are all over the place, you know what I mean? It's easy to control that. Because if I got one, say for instance, I got green on the front of it, and all the way around on the other side is another green, but this green is around all red and blue, it's not going to know how to be, you know what I mean? There's no balance like that. All of the stuff they give us, it's all, the Rubik Cube, all of that stuff they give us, man, is all to show you how this world really works.
Yup, yup. I mean, the title is called Judas in the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
And look what happened to Judas. Judas killed himself after what? He betrayed Yahweh Shah.
Yeah, because you see, he knew what he did, and remember, he threw the money away, too. You remember that?
Yeah.
Because he was like, nah, man, this ain't, nah, I'm not, he didn't feel it. Like, after that happened, he actually felt that, because it's just like, wow, it wasn't worth it. That's why they gave him a gas station, then they lied and said the man committed suicide. But listen to this, though. What gets deep on that is so amazing. Look who they made. Have you pay attention to the name of the person that they made betray Fred Hampton?
Oh, yeah.
His first name.
Keepdoing? Was it Keepdoing?
No, William.
Oh, William.
William O'Neill, remember?
Oh, yeah. My people, yeah, William. Yeah.
You hear that name, bro? William. And when you pay attention to, hear me out, because I did a breakdown on all of a lot of the horror movies, Jason, all of these movies represent yeah, the William represents, when you pay attention to that name, the will of I am.
Oh, where did I see that? Yeah, wow.
The will of I am. Yeah, I am. You already know the Most High, he told Moses, tell Israel that I am sent you. And the will of I am, meaning the will of the Most High. That's why notice how they had him play Judas. You see how they play this, man?
Yep.
And that's why the actors tripped me out is how they had the same actors. It's so amazing because like how what's his name? Daniel I think his name is Kawale.
Yeah, that is great. He has a swag. He has to be good.
Yeah, you see how he played on the Black Panther. He betrayed Chadwick Boseman, and then now he gets betrayed as a Black Panther. And Lakeith Stanfield was the one programmed by the system. Remember, he was the one who was kidnapped, abducted, and then he was the one programmed by basically the oppressors. And then they the ones who sent him to betray Fred Hampton. You see how this stuff goes?
Yeah. I saw the interview with Fred Hampton's wife.
Yeah.
Her story did not go with what was detailed in the murder.
Yeah, she's a liar, man. She was an actor, man.
Yeah, and go make sense.
I guess someone always land, but look, bro, we seen this type of stuff either in reality or we heard about some stuff or something. But if you land in a bed next to, on top of him at that, because he was getting shot, they're shooting rounds, it's automatic rounds that's spraying in that room. We go look back at the photos. When you look at the pictures, she would have got hit, man, because where she was laying at in the film, you see the bullet was literally right in that hole in the wall. It was right there. So if she was right there, it would have went through her and killed her or hurt her. Why would these guys come in the house and say, "Oh, we got a pregnant woman"? Stop. No, they wouldn't have did that. That means she probably never was there to begin with.
Exactly.
They probably came in there. The people who was there, remember they already said 3 people died. The people who were there were the ones who was in that house, and she probably was never in the house. And they just made it look like she was there, so like she wasn't a part of it. You know?
Yeah. There's no way them bullets. We're gonna go right through the wall, hit, and these cases some way or another. They were gone.
Yeah.
And
that's deep because when you add it up, how he was I had the numbers on it, and how he died I think 25 days before his son, and when you add it 1969, it equals 25, the year he died. I'm like, come on, man.
And if I'm not mistaken, Fred Hampton was 24.
No, he was 21, bro.
Oh, 21, yeah, and the other dude was in 22.
No, William O'Neill was 17.
Oh, he was 17.
Yeah, they were young, bro. You remember them Panthers back then were young, bro. Remember?
Yeah,
but they was just different, they were grown men because look at the era they was in. It was a whole different. Yeah, Fred Hampton was growing up in a masculine era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this era, this era is done. That's why I'm saying this place is finished.
Yeah.
And then the man today, he don't got no backbone. He don't got no backbone or nothing, you know what I mean? Like, back then, he was powerful. That's why these devils were so afraid of Fred Hamilton coming and retire, so to speak. Because bringing everybody together, that's basically bringing Israel together.
Mm-hmm. Then he was joining up them other nations, so that was dangerous, bruh. He had them other nations. He had them even like, look, we got the same enemy. You remember how he went around the rednecks? He was like the Confederate whites. He was like, look, we got the same enemy. And they like, look, our roots is war too, and we've been fighting these same people, man. And once they did that, they're like, nah, this is getting out of control because it was just an operation to take them down. But that whole thing's true. All of that stuff be set up because they give us these, like the Malcolm X, they gave us these people. Martin Luther King, they gave us all of them. They all were trained. And when you pay attention to that, it's so deep because they give us these people and they either kill off the character, kill them for real, allegedly, but we'll be like, dang, every time we try to get up, they always knock us down. It's like having, for instance, you got the strongest bull in the pen, and you got him around all the other bulls or cows, and you kill him. That's going to make them get scared, man.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with Pop. Because Pop was, more northern than not. He was talking about, the devils. He was like bringing everything back. He even talked about the tribes before. I think it was AJ. Yeah, I think it was A4 and AJ.
Oh yeah, Pop was he was connected to Roosevelt.
He was to Roosevelt?
Yeah, he his family line. And look at Pop too. Like Pop, from young they was producing Pop to come out. That's why he started out as an actor. Because they were already prepping him to play a role. He was the best, really one of the best actors we ever seen on TV. Because this man was in reality. It's actually a channel that go in depth on Tupac, man. I watched that like a year ago, called the Tupac Hoax. That's a crazy channel, man. They went in depth. I'm talking about from all the Pac life. They broke him completely down. Like that dude, because when you look at Tupac, the name Tupac, to program and control,
Word, yeah.
And that's why they gave us the people like Ice Cube. That's why they gave us Ice Cube. That's why they gave us all of that because notice, I remember I was talking about this. When you look at Ice Cube and you look at Ice T, all of that ice represents nothing but the energy of Saturn. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, because look at Saturn rings, bro. Saturn rings is like cold brimstone. It look like ice. Because it's the black planet,
I'm not mistaken. I think it's like the first planet away. At least one of the first planets away from the Earth.
Yeah, I think it's like once you get past the asteroid belt or something like that, it's Jupiter and Saturn. And they're how they show us, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that Saturn aspect, because look at it, Saturn, aka Saturn, aka Satan. And when you look at it too, earlier this year, last year, I'm sorry, like what was it, January? It was January, or it was I think it was January or February, but you remember they had the Pluto and Saturn conjunction?
Yeah, I remember here. Yeah.
Pluto represents death, aka hell, and then you have Saturn, which represents nothing but the hidden knowledge, and it represents, the Saturn energy, Satan energy. And when you merge the two together, that's transgenderism. That's why last year was all about, the tranny lives matter. Remember, how did we go from the Black Lives Matter to the tranny lives matter last year? Remember that?
Yeah, they pushed that agenda hard.
Yeah.
Or basically what they're trying to do is have a newer order. Everybody's one.
Everything is one. Yeah, man and woman becoming one, and that's why they use the Caitlyn Jenner agenda. You know what I'm saying? Make people get, to be desensitized to it. Because you see the man, he was one of the best athletes in the 90s. Wasn't he like one of the best track runners or something like that? And
yes, I heard.
Yeah, he was great at running. And you see how they turned him into a woman? Come on, man, that's dehumanizing him, you know?
Yeah. That's what the question now is, the transhumanism.
Oh, that's
this year. It started this year.
Bro, they really, they were showing it last year to get us ready, but this year, that's why the whole Super Bowl, everything been about Alexa with Michael B. Jordan. And I'm like, bro, if you notice this, and I asked you to do a breakdown on him, I'm actually going to do that. But if you notice Michael B. Jordan, have you noticed how they pushing him, like how they pushing that sexiest man alive thing with Michael B. Jordan? I was watching All American. You watch that show?
Yeah, I watched All American football show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the recent episode?
Nah. Yeah, so I saw the one last week.
Okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm going to just say a line that they said on there. It was basically playing a game or whatever, like, like a little, group game. Board game.
Right.
And they was like, the girls, they said, okay, who's this, he's a handsome man or whatever. And the guy was like, oh, no, he's you talking about Michael B. Jordan. I'm like, yeah, he's the sexiest man. I'm like, wow. They're pushing that theme for him because notice he played Alexa.
Yep. Yeah, he did. And you Alexa, that was like part of the
bruh.
basically get the transhumanism story by having like robot and machines to answer your back.
Bruh, and you notice they used the black family because remember how I was talking about the black and duality represents the feminine? The black literally represents the feminine, so that represents birth in the agenda, bro. You see that? Bro, that's why everybody like, why everything, black is in fashion, black is black. They pushing that because that is bringing everything into the fruition because the feminine by nature, that's her role. She brings things into reality. You feel me?
And the thing with this being Brussels for Black History Month right now.
Oh yeah, anyway, February, the word February, I forgot how to actually say the word in the Latin. But basically, that's why you have the Valentine's Day and you have the Lupercalia, all of that in February because all that represents the Valentine's Day, aka Lupercalia. Remember I was telling you about the Big L. Remember Big L, the rapper? Yeah. That's why he had to die during the Lupercalia because that represents nothing but the sacrifice for the Mother Goddess menstrual cycle. Because February, the first 14 days. Valentine's Day is usually on February 14th, so that's the 14th day that represents the end of her menstrual cycle when they do the sacrifice to her for birth in Haru, aka Harpocrates, which is like a baby horse, baby Nimrod. That's all it is. And the Cupid, that's what the Cupid represents, the baby Nimrod.
Yeah, always one guy, always holiday guy. All of them.
January is the god Janus. February is the Mother Goddess. You know what I'm saying? You go and it keeps going and it keeps going.
Yeah.
That's why Groundhog Day is in February. That represents preparing for the Mother Goddess fertility. That's they get ready to prepare for her fertility in the spring. That's what the whole thing represents.
Man, ain't nothing new under the sun. History repeating itself over and over again. And funny thing is, the New Year is about to pop off.
Oh yeah, yep, definitely. The spring equinox is coming up. Yep, our true spring, our true New Year. Why would New Year's be in the winter when it don't even make sense because you're supposed to celebrate life, not dead. You feel me?
Exactly. Yeah, the plants die, trees die, everything dies. Everything's dead.
That's why they celebrate. That's their strength.
Yeah, and they got the animals all hibernating. You know how about? So the spring comes, you got all the animals coming out.
Yeah, the bear, everything. The bear be sleeping this time, you know?
Yeah.
They eat enough just so it can last, you know what I mean, through its hibernation. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
This stuff is deep stuff there, but they don't want people thinking like that. That's why they don't teach us this stuff in school. Like, I was out today, I went for a walk and everything, was out in nature, and I'm just like, take away TV and all of that. This is what life really is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Relaxing.
Everything through technology, like back in like 90s, been out of the phone. Like, when you out and about, you gotta find your way to your destination. You gotta ask somebody. You don't have no technology out nothing.
Crazy.
Like, yeah, the satellites up there in the sky and whatnot, you can actually see everything that's going on in your house, you know.
Have you seen that movie Deja Vu with Denzel Washington?
Which one?
With Denzel called Deja Vu.
Oh, yeah.
Remember they had that machine on there where Denzel was like, is she alive inside the machine or is she dead right now? And then it's like, she's alive. I think I did a breakdown that a little while. I think I did, yeah, about the technology. You see how the digital human, that's why I did that Soul breakdown with Ray Charles, with that new Soul movie with Jamie Foxx. And how they showing how they bringing people back through the television. You know, just like The Ring. You remember that movie, The Ring, and all of them movies? Yeah, man. They're living inside the TV, you know?
I mean, I really don't care. I really don't follow it. According black is not according black. That's the clone.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right on that.
And same thing with Gucci Man. Come on, yeah, they clones.
Yeah.
You know, they are clones.
Bruh, we got so many. I saw one yesterday. When I was out there, I was living by Stephen King's house. This was like back last year. And I was out there and I saw so many Masons. You know what I'm saying? His whole house got nothing but the statue of Moloch right in the yard, you know? And yeah, this was I was in Bangor, Maine. This was a few months ago. Like probably like when was it? October. I was there for like 3 months. Yeah, man. It was.
That's how you know these devils and these Masons the higher ups don't live in America. They live outside America. They live in race.
Mhm. That's why that was just his house. He wrote them books and the movies at, you know. But that man, you know, yeah, he worth all them millions. That man ain't probably gonna be there that much, you know. That's just a house. You know, you got you somewhere. You got a house. You got houses, different places. Yeah, his main house is probably somewhere over in Europe, man.
Yeah. Like they got capsules and main service and whatnot. They living it up. But you know, that's why they're doing it. Just pushing that COVID. If you want to ultimately everybody vaccinated, then they could shit.
Oh yeah.
The shit comes to the end of you up, but they ain't gonna get the end of you up. It's good to talk about, you know, they're gonna be getting ready to eat, so to speak, and they'll put their belly up, get ready to put their belly, and then, you know, the most high sun comes.
Oh yeah. It's like disrupting the party. You know, it makes sense why they have Pop Smoke make that song, Welcome to the Party. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things, for these people, like, you be thinking, oh man, these dudes came up, man. You know, they rose up out the hood. You know, I can be just like them. You know what I'm saying? They've done this time and time again, but these people already be marked. There's no way you can't tell me Pop Smoke is not 50 Cent's son, man. You can't tell me that. You know?
Yeah, all paid actors, and one brother brought out that Bobby Smorta, he just got out yesterday.
Right.
And Nine and him are both from New York, Brooklyn. What's that going to do? So a big uprise is going to be a distraction. And then just behind the scenes, there'll be stuff going on that no one's paying attention about.
Yeah, because I remember my friend when I was out there, I was living in New York for a minute, and I was out in the Bronx, and we actually, I think at this time, though, I was out in Syracuse. If I'm not mistaken, I was somewhere, Albany. I was out in Albany kicking it. And my friend, Yeah, I love Albany. Shout out to Albany. I love Albany, Syracuse. I love upstate New York. It's really cool. And my friend, he was like, he said, yeah, I was at the Walmart. He said, bro, guess who I just met? And I said, well, he showed me the picture. He said, I just saw Bobby Smurder's mama, bro. She told me, she can't wait for him to get out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's crazy. I said, that's lit. That's what's up, man. But I'm just like, yeah, you see, it's going to be a huge distraction because either he going to get back on that vibe again. I don't know how he going to come back. Remember, that's why Jay-Z was shouting him out,
Yeah.
That dude's certified in New York, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. He let me go through a building and he up there.
Yeah, because Jay-Z don't shout out nobody if you ain't, you know what I mean? He ain't shout nobody out, bro. If you ain't, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't a part of that agenda.
Yeah, he up there in Mason. He's like in a pilot, like, I don't know how high he is, but he's high.
Oh, yeah, he's 33rd, bro.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He be throwing the signs up, and when you first came out, everybody say Jehovah. You don't realize that you used to say, Jehovah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember I never used to say it. I used to just say Jay, but I remember when he came out, that song, P.S. Public Service Announcement. That's why he made that song. And the song was hard. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you an average listener don't know what's going on, that song is hard. You feel me?
Right.
But he's like, the name is Hove, H to the O-V. He said come from the R-O-C, Hove. He's talking about like basically he's the that's why he said I came out of the fire. Like the Rock, he's talking about he's the Rock. And J. Cole too, I did a breakdown on him. I did a breakdown on a couple of them. Like, I didn't do a specific, like, in depth on J. Cole, but I had him a part of, like, how, you remember back in the day, how, remember when the World War II, the stage World War II was going on, and remember America was, Hollywood was making all of those movies about the war going on. You remember the German Jews was in control. They controlled Hollywood. And you remember how they was broadcasting that? They like, oh no, we shouldn't be doing that, but they did it anyway to show, yeah, America's winning the World War II, blah, blah, blah. And notice how all of these rappers, actors, athletes, all of them be tied in to Germany, bruh.
Germany, yeah.
J. Cole, Schoolboy Q, there's so many people, Sandra Bullock, Leonardo, DiCaprio. It's like Shaq. And Martin Lawrence, I actually knew a guy from Southeast D.C., and he was showing me a picture. He knew Martin Lawrence when they were kids. His mama used to babysit him, and he was like, hey, man, he said, look, bro, he said, yeah, he used to always tell us, yo, I'm going to be a real famous comedian. He said he was like 10 years old at the time.
Yeah, that's another thing. They shut him when he was up. They shut him up, like, chill him, but they shut him up because he was usually, coming up against the Jewish, Jews. They try to say that he was like on heroin and
right, yeah, they ain't got him beat up by a little kid and all of that. They made him say he went through the humiliation ritual.
Yeah. And that's another thing. If that don't get you, they try to take you out. Look at David Chappelle. They tried David Chappelle to finally, turn the current. Look what they did to Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart been destroyed though, man. Remember, he went in justice. He dealt with The Rock. I think The Rock and him, I ain't gonna just bear witness with someone like that, false witness. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Like, all them people I put, all the ones that sold out, they all doing those
sodomites, man.
Sacrifices.
J. Cole showed it on his video ATM. Remember how he showed? And remember after he did that video, WAP come out, like a year later or 2 years later, when they do the same mansion ritual? Remember?
I got to see the video here, Corey. That's what I see, bro. I want to check that out.
Yeah, check out ATM, bro. It showed him, he's inside the mansion. It's masonry checkerboard on the floor, and he's walking by the rooms. Yeah, they all got to get down, man. And J. Cole is high. In the game, J. Cole is certified. You think right now, hip hop, you say J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. You know?
Yep.
Off rip. You gonna say J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake. Huh?
He fell off. Lamar fell off a little bit.
Yeah, because you know right now he's going through that part where he about to drop. But think about it, Lamar do that all the time, bro. It's like he one of them artists who come out every 2-3 years with an album. You know, he gonna drop that new album, then people gonna feel it. He gonna be back on top, and that's just the game they go, man. You know, like Eminem. Huh?
Oh, my fault, son. Yeah, I'm just looking at the video. Like, you know, the picture, and that's J. Cole, like, he tied up. Red and black.
Yeah, see? Yeah, I haven't watched it in the night. I forgot all about it. Yeah, he in that room with all the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's showing you. I forgot. Yeah, like, yep, that's how it go. That's the game, man. He's letting you know that he's doing what he got to do to take for that dollar. You know? Notice how he's military. And you know Tiger Woods, I had put a breakdown on him yesterday about the car crash, that whole ritual. But Tiger Woods, you know, his father used to program, he used to program Vietnam soldiers and send them into battle. He'll wipe their memory away and send them into battle. And yeah, I got it in my Tiger Woods. Whenever you can, I'll send you the link. So you gotta check it out. And Tiger Woods, his dad said what had happened if he do it on his own son. And once he wiped his memory away, Tiger Woods literally was excelling. Like he even said it himself. He was like, man, I'd be on a golf course. He said, I don't remember even being there, but I just know my body was there. But he said, I blacked out and I just performed. MK Ultra, you know. Shaq, same thing. Yep, Shaq was the same way. Remember Shaq? His stepdad took him over to Germany, man. They said because he was a mischievous child. They took him over to Germany, had him playing basketball all day. They was programming him then.
Yeah. It's really on the movie Street Jam, when
oh yeah.
they do that.
Muggsy wrote him? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, we need to do your, remember he said we gotta do your neurosurgery?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember, if you pay attention to the Space Jam, it's so deep. Man, I got 2 breakdowns on that too. I did the one with LeBron. Yeah, I did the one with LeBron. I did the one with Jordan, the original one. And it's crazy, you know. But basically, when you pay attention to the Space Jam, just to get to the meat of it, you know about the rabbit represents the rabbit hole taking you into the delusion. And you know the rabbit deals with time. Remember the Alice in Wonderland? I'm late. Yeah. And when you pay attention to that, it's so deep because what's his name? Jordan. Remember on the movie he went through the rabbit hole. And after that, notice when he come out of the Space Jam, he's playing against Muggsy Bow and them, man, in their form, in their subconscious monster form. That's what the whole movie was about, the movie Us. You feel me?
Yeah, that movie Us is deep.
Yeah, that's what it was representing, the monsters in your subconscious. That's what Jordan was battling. And that's why he had to fight. That's, remember at the end of the movie, remember the monsters shrunk and they got weak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power.
And notice when he come back to reality, that's why Jordan was gone for 2 years too, and that's why the Space Jam came out during his, remember it was about what happened during his 2 years of him being out the NBA. You feel what I'm saying? And it's deep stuff to that programming. It's real, man. And you see how they showed that on the Manchurian Candidate and all of that. But with Jordan, you remember when he came remember he came back to the NBA, what do you have? You had AI coming to NBA, you had the Mamba, Kobe Bryant, you had the reptilian Vince Carter. Remember that? Then came King James. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
AI, the answer, AI, artificial intelligence programming.
Black Mamba.
The Black Mamba, the beast that emerged from the snake. I mean, the serpent that emerged from the seas in Revelation 12 or Revelation 13. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was watching a documentary on Kobe.
Mhm.
He said after his case with the fear whatnot, he just did a black bomber. Shut everything off and sure if he is, with your snake.
Yeah.
That the way I do. So to speak. Yeah, that's his nerd character. He went to another level.
Yo, yeah, remember Kobe, man? What did he do, bro? Kobe became like the greatest of all time, bro. Like on a sense of his era, you know what I'm saying? Of his time in the league, at his peak, Kobe was the best in the league by far. So, LeBron was still young, you know what I'm saying? But Jordan was out of it. Kobe was running the league, and then LeBron James. They use. It's so deep how when I look at Golden State Warriors, how deep this is because notice their logo is the bridge. And when you know about King James in the scripture, the author King James, you know his son was literally a cavalier. Do you know that?
I didn't know that. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I forgot his name. I forgot his son name. I gotta look back at it. I got it in my breakdown. But yeah, his son.
He had players in the Warriors play in the finals.
Oh yeah, yep. And King James won when he beat Golden State. He won it on King James' birthday, June 25th. I think it's June 25th. That was King James of the Bible's birthday.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's deep, man, because Golden State represents like the Golden Warriors, the 144 refined. That's why they had to play against King James because that was like, basically the 144K going through the word. You get what I'm saying?
144.
Yeah, who's literally absorbing the word of the Most High. Why do you think after they got done with them, who did they play, bruh? Toronto. Remember?
Yeah.
The reptilian empire. That's why they had to lose. That's why everybody got injured because that represented the persecution of the 144.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Like that, it gets that deep. That's why you see they lost in 6. And what was Toronto? They were the Raptor, the reptilian empire. You know what I mean? The lineage of the serpent. Like that is that deep, bruh. Like it's that deep, and it's crazy. That's why LeBron James is over there in Lakers right now. That's why he has AD on his team, because that represents the AD of the time, Anno Domini. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at that, that's why he had to play the Heat because that represents the lake of fire. Because remember, Kobe is the serpent, and that represents you know what I mean? When you look at John. As it's written, when Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so shall the Son of Man be lifted up. But Kobe is playing that, the serpent who deceiveth the world. You feel me?
Yeah, Genesis, yep.
Yes, old serpent, the devil, yeah. That stuff, bruh. It's so crazy, the symbolism. But, think about it, people. You talk to an average person about that, they're like, man, I don't want to hear that.
Yes. That's the flesh.
Yeah, they don't want to hear it because what do they see? Man, I want to see is LeBron. I had one dude, I was telling him with the Super Bowl, man, what we was really standing for. And he's like, okay, did that mean Tom Brady's going to win? I'm like, bruh, I'm not about to sit. Everybody already knew he was going to win. But I'm not about to sit here.
I didn't want him to win, but I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Ain't no way Brady. They let Brady get to the Super Bowl, and they let him lose 4 times, bro. It's not about to happen.
Exactly, and that's what's on another level. He's taking some like witchcraft from one night.
Bro, his wife is a witch. Remember, he already said that his wife keeps him going. Yeah.
Yeah. He said, I'll keep playing. So they got 46.
Yeah, think about that. That's 10 right there. And that represents the 5 and the 5 because they love that number because that represents basically illuminating him as the Most High.
Hey, we ain't nothing about matrix.
Yeah, and you add 1 plus 0. 1 plus 0 is number 1, And that literally is like the one world, oneness, one body. You feel me? You gotta remember the Most High has his body. Satan has his body as well. You feel me?
He do everything symbolic.
Yeah, he do everything.
Both sides so bad that they do everything symbolic to make it just like a movie, like a matrix.
Right. Satan works like where we serve the Most High. Satan works where he exalt you and let you serve yourself, but you still loyal to him. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's deep, man. It makes you go, wow. Like this way.
Prideful and boastful and
arrogant.
Scripture talks about being prideful and what a pride comes before destruction.
Exactly. You know how they already said, why do you think they're doing world peace? Save us. Hey, you remember the movie Lean on Me?
Yeah.
Have you seen that breakdown I done on Lean on Me?
Nah, I haven't watched that one too.
It's short. Yeah, it's a lot of them. I feel like almost 100 up, bruh.
That's good, huh?
Yeah, it was that Lean on Me one. I'm gonna send you that too. But it's so deep, bro. Notice Bill Withers, who sung Lean on Me, he died at 82. He died last year. He was either 81. Yeah, he was 81, I think, around 81 or 82. But either way, the man who sang Lean on Me dies after the whole COVID thing. Remember they were singing Lean on Me in New York, the nurses. Then what tripped me out is how the principal dies, the man with Joe Clark. He dies at 83 on LeBron James' birthday. Now what tripped me out about that, remember Lakers in I think it was at 89 or 80 something when Lean on Me came out, or was when that was going on. And Joe Clark, at the time the Lean on Me was coming out on the movie with Morgan Freeman, the Lakers played the Pistons that year and lost. Remember?
Oh, the movie was 1989. He died at the age of 81.
Yeah. You remember that? So yeah, at that time, the movie came out, and then the Lakers was in the finals. They lost against the Pistons. But notice this: when he died in December, this past December, on LeBron James' birthday, LeBron and them just won the finals. Notice how the Lakers was in the finals again. That's crazy. That's why I said, was Lean on Me even real? Like, because why was, out of all these people, notice he was military. He was a military drill instructor, and then how they got him on the Time magazines. I'm like, he's tied in, bruh. It's no way.
Joe LeBron?
No, it's my Joe Clark, the man on Lean on Me, the principal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They made a whole movie about this man. I'm like, was this stuff even really happening? Or was they lying, you know?
Yeah, he was sergeant.
Ain't no way, bro. It's no way. Because this man's on a movie. They got a whole movie about him. And all of this, come on, bro. He's military. That military, everything got to be military operated.
No, but that's, what we were talking about before, saying is that's what they try to push. You're going to have to have weapons.
Yeah, like the army of Satan, when you think about it symbolically.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when that time comes, we're going to need some spiritual powers to fight the army. Because here it is, you're going to be bringing Roman soldiers and whatnot, and I believe you're going to have cyborgs.
Oh, bro, you seen The Purge? The Purge of last year? Was it Anarchy? You remember the whole thing with the mask, why the people on The Purge wear masks? You remember during the time of